You alright there?
Sure.
He initially started out by working, as you can see, his vertical wind turbine. This is a popular project for Wisconsin students. However, this usually takes the entire 6 weeks. Somehow, Ian managed to get it done in about a week and a half. At that point, after working on solar panel modifications, we couldn't really come up with any other modifications for it, so we decided we could get started on a second project, which is an NFC lockbox, which he came up with even more modifications for. He's a really quick learner, he moves fast, and he's going to show you his awesome projects.
Okay. So, took a picture of what we're supposed to talk about so I don't forget. Okay, so my name is Ian. Hello. I am a rising junior at San Francisco Waldorf High School. For my starter project, I did a Minty Boost, which is a boost converter. You put some batteries in it, and you plug your phone in, and it'll charge your phone. So for my main project, I did the two. I did the wind turbine, which is also an iPhone charger. That's good fun. And then I did this lockbox, and it uses this NFC ring. So I don't have wind to demonstrate the turbine, and we don't have that big vacuum we used to get it up to high speeds. So I'll be demonstrating the lockbox. So you take the ring near it. This happens literally every time I try and demo it. Plays a little tune. Okay, so it uses an NFC reader, which is right there, and a servo motor locks it. So there's the slit here. Servo arm slides in, it's locked in place. And you can't hear it anymore because of the tune, but when it opens up, it has a nice little pop. I accidentally broke the hinges, so it doesn't close all the way. It makes it look way cooler when it opens. It also uses an Arduino, like you've heard, like every other time it's evening, coding and such. I accidentally just closed it. So the most challenging part of this project was in fact the LEDs. Not like, I'm sure Alex gave a very nice testimony about how awful LEDs work with Arduino. So he and I actually kind of worked a little bit together with our LED circuit. We mostly complained together. It was quite the pain. It broke my Arduino, my circuit a couple times. I couldn't figure out what was going on with it. I had to replace a servo. Wires kept breaking. It was all very annoying. I ended up finding out that I had positive and negative switched, and that's why it was breaking. So that was very difficult. Also making the website, the documentation, that was a big pain. So for modifications, for the wind turbine, most of it was a modification. The original design only called for it to be a lantern, only to have one LED at the end of it. I decided that was kind of lame, so I instead have a li-poly battery, a charging circuit, and a Minty Boost, so you can charge your phone with it, because who needs light when you can just have a phone? And for the lockbox, I have these LEDs and a piezo buzzer, which is a kind of like uncomplicated speaker. And the tune it plays is actually from a video game called The Legend of Zelda. And in some of the newer games, when you open up a box or a chest, this golden light flows out of it and it plays that little tune. So Liam gave me the idea to replicate that, and I thought that was a great idea. I also added in this panel with the LEDs in it because the original design called for a much smaller Arduino. We got the smaller Arduino. It turns out nobody's computer can actually upload to the Arduino, we couldn't figure out why. So it's using an Arduino about this size, and it takes up most of the space in the lockbox along with the piezo buzzer and the LEDs. So I decided to just give it a platform and sacrifice that bottom of the box to circuitry. So when I applied it to Bluestamp, I was thinking I might want to do engineering in college. I was leaning towards mechanical engineering. Now, after the next 6 weeks, I am definitely sure I want to study engineering in college, and I'm leaning a bit more towards electrical.
So, as someone who is definitely interested in electrical engineering myself, that's my passion. Why do you want to do electrical engineering?
Well, the most fun I've had from either of these projects was from soldering and racing on circuits. I got a small teasers here and there from about how electricity works. I still don't understand it.
What's wrong and how to fix it?
Well, my idea is normally to beat my head against the wall, trying to fix the problem, and then once I come to a complete dead stop, I just figure, why don't we just replace everything? I think one of the biggest things I've learned in this program is that replacing things is completely unnecessary, and there's usually a way to fix it. The most recent example was when somebody so kindly unscrewed my servo mount as a prank. And when I screwed it back in, it was very wobbly and it wouldn't mount very quickly. So my idea was like, oh, do we have enough filament left to 3D print a new mount? I have a mount right there. And then we tried a few things like different screws until it took like 20 minutes until Nathan suggested, why don't you just put hot glue in the holes? I thought I completely misrepresented it and filled in the holes before I put the screws in, thinking, oh, so I'm going to have more stuff to screw in. That worked, but it was not as effective as what his original idea would have been, which is to screw it in and then hot glue.
You should have dressed like Link to sell the idea.
What?
You should have dressed like Link to sell the idea.
I wish I had a snarky comment to return, I'm sorry.
As someone who's also somewhat interested in electrical engineering,
Yes.
how'd you figure out the LEDs run backwards?
Well, we used, what's that big machine called that we first used?
You mean the oscilloscope?
Yeah, the oscilloscope. We used that, and for some reason we still couldn't figure it out until like a couple days later. I was still trying to figure out why it wasn't working, and then Nathan had the brilliant idea of using a multimeter on it, which really should have been our first go-to. And in all 5 seconds figured out it was on backwards. That was a week of my time that I couldn't figure out. I put it on backwards.